Do you want to feel more safe and peaceful and less defensive when someone criticizes you or even attacks you? Because there's a lot of that in the world today. I'm Amy Rose, and I have a holistic counseling and consulting practice in Florida. And this is something that I help my clients with a lot. And we use a really powerful system of healing called IFS, which stands for Internal Family Systems. And in a previous video, I did an explanation of what IFS is and how it works. So I'll post a link to that in the comments of this video. And you know, IFS can help us heal those painful life experiences that leave us feeling separate, less than, not good enough. So separate from the world inside of us, in our true self, separate in relationships, in the community, and even our connection to the world. And I also use A Course of Miracles in my work with clients, which is a book of wisdom that you can apply to whatever spiritual beliefs you have about how to remove the blocks to your awareness of the presence of love inside of you or outside of you. So we're going to do an exercise that brings both of those together at the end of this video. And you know, how do you respond to criticism? Do you get argumentative or a little snarky? Maybe you get aggressive or hostile, or maybe you avoid conflict and so you don't say anything, but on the inside you're obsessing and thinking about what you could have said or should have said, or how you could have hurt that person like they hurt you. So you sort of have these revenge but secret attack thoughts inside of you. And you know, when we're looking at parts of you that are defensive, in IFS, we always want to recognize that this part of you is afraid for some reason. And so the question you want to ask yourself is, what is this part of you afraid will happen if you don't respond in that way that may be labeled defensive? And for most of us, it's this fear of being criticized, that it will activate those thoughts of I'm not good enough, there's something wrong with me, and that activates the very painful emotion of shame. And shame is that icky, sticky, tar-like emotion that makes us feel less than, one down. We sort of want to retreat and hide. And so the parts of you that get defensive are trying to protect you from that pain of shame. And so instead of being one down, they'll go one up. And that's when we can be morally superior, or looking down at someone, or even just thinking, oh, I'm above that. I would never behave that way. So these defensive parts are protecting you from shame. And it helps to remember that these are just parts of you. They're not who you truly are. They're not your true self with a capital S. So I was sitting outside enjoying the beauty of nature and thinking about all of this when I saw this turtle start creeping in front of me. And I think he was looking for a snack in my compost pile. And I had to laugh because it felt like a message from the universe. You know, a turtle has this protective shell to defend itself against attack. When it feels unsafe, it can retreat and go within, right? Well, you have something way more powerful inside of you that can help you feel safe and peaceful. And it is the presence within. This is your true self, the part of you that has never been attacked, shamed, or afraid. You can think of it as your inner light, your connection to the divine, however you define that, the force of love. And this is the part of you that can love unconditionally and heal and extend resources to the parts of you that are defensive and feel hurt. Because all defensive behavior is an effort to protect ourselves from pain. So IFS can help us heal these parts of us that are hurt and blocking our ability to give and receive love. And it's a great tool to help us practice A Course in Miracles. And so there are daily lessons in the Course, and lesson 153 says, "In my defenselessness, my safety lies." Now, you may hear that and think, huh? If I'm defenseless, doesn't that mean I'm vulnerable and open to attack? Well, if you're allowing these parts of you to behave defensively, these are the small, weak, kind of powerless parts of you that don't have a lot of resources. So in that moment, you're really denying the power within, that light inside of you, your true self, because the energy of your true self is naturally safe and peaceful. It's eternally connected to the light and the source of all creation. So it's hugely creative. It can inspire you to, and give you the resources to respond differently and in a way that radiates love and gets you better results. Because when we respond defensively, it never feels good, and it usually creates the very opposite thing that we want. It drives people away and makes us feel bad about ourselves, which just activates more shame, right? So let's do a short exercise where we're going to witness a part of you that's defensive in some way through the eyes of your true self. And it might help to stop the video for a minute and think about what part of you you want to work with. It could be a part of you that feels small and ashamed, or a part of you that gets angry, like, don't talk to me that way, or a part that's a little bit grandiose or self-righteous, like, I am spiritual, I practice love, I'm not unkind. It's the part of us that kind of goes one up. That's usually a managing part, what we talk about in IFS, that's protecting an exiled part, that's holding shame. So maybe sketch it out, see how it talks to you. Then when you're ready, let's begin. And I think it helps to close your eyes. If you're not comfortable, that's fine. I'll put a picture up on the screen that you can gaze into, and we'll get started, okay? All right, so just close your eyes and let's take 3 gentle breaths, inhaling in, exhaling out, inhaling in, exhaling out. One more breath in. And this time, just slow your exhale. Sink into the chair, whatever you're sitting on, and let it hold you up a bit. And we're just going to notice this part of you that you've identified that acts in a way that can be labeled defensive. And see if you can notice it from this part of you that has curiosity and compassion and wants to collaborate with it. And just notice how you feel towards this part. If you can notice it with some curiosity, that's probably self-energy. If you're distracted or you feel sort of irritated, those are probably different parts. So just ask them if they would be willing to step back and maybe sit in a waiting room. They can watch what we're doing, and we recognize that all parts are welcome. There are no bad parts. They're all trying to help. And just ask this part that's trying to protect you what it's like to have to do this job. It's not easy being defensive. People don't respond well. You don't get a lot of love. It's kind of lonely and alienating. So send it some compassion and let it know it's welcome here. without judgment. Your true self can only love. It cannot judge. It's not intrusive. It just offers whatever resource is needed. So what is this part longing for? What does it wish? May not think it can get it, but what does it wish for? And whatever it tells you it wants, yourself has the capacity to send that resource. Love, acceptance, support, safety. And just see if this part of you is able to receive that. And if it's not, if you're confused or your mind's wandering, great. Those are all parts of you that are showing you how they interrupt you from healing and extending love to parts of you that need support. So just notice them with love. Ask them to step back. And turn your attention towards this part you've identified you want to work with. And see if it is aware, however it can perceive, look through its eyes or however it notices the presence of yourself. And does it sense anything unkind, unloving? And it may be surprised that there's this presence it was not aware of that has resources and can help it. And that's all we're going to do today. I just wanted to offer a little practice. So send this part resources that it wants, love or safety, and ask it, would it be okay if yourself could be with it until we meet again? Offer it love and healing. Because it's been stuck in this job for a long time. And it really needs to know it's not alone. And then ask this part how old it thinks you are. And just sit back and wait. We're not asking it to make up anything. And you may be surprised at what this part tells you. It may think it's much younger than you are. So just let this part know, shine a light into 2023 and let it know you grew up. You have way more resources than it may have realized. And there may be a different way to respond in a way that actually gets you results. And ask if it would be open to that. And then just flow it, this really loving acceptance, letting it know it's not alone. There's this older, wiser resource that can help and wants to help. And then for now, you're just going to practice allowing yourself to witness this part and offer it support until you learn more techniques and a capacity to help unburden all the parts that hold shame that this part probably guards. So just thank it, take another breath or two, and then when you're ready, just return your awareness to the here and now. And you know, there are several techniques in IFS that we use to unburden the parts of you that feel that shame. But I felt like it was important to just begin to practice and introduce this idea that there's a resource that can help you feel safe and peaceful and liberate you from that need to attack back and criticize. Because it's never a bad thing to speak up and set a boundary, but most of the time we don't do that. We respond in a way that doesn't get us what we want. So I'd love to hear how that was for you. Please post in the comments any questions. And remember this, some days you can just radiate your light. Some days you need to receive light. And wherever you are on your journey of being the light, you're always welcome to connect here with me at Delight the World. And if you like this video, please subscribe. And thanks for watching.